I'm David Scowsill, President and CEO of the World Travel and Tourism Council.
And what does that mean?
The World Travel and Tourism Council represents private industries for travel and tourism businesses around the world. So our members, it's a membership organisation, and most of the big airlines, hotel groups, car rental businesses, cruise lines are all part of our membership organisation.
And I understand you became president in November 2010, so
That's right.
what an honor.
Yes. Well, my background is pretty broad in travel. I've worked in cruise lines, and tour operators, airlines, hotels, online travel agencies and technology companies, so I understand most of what goes on in travel.
So we're at the end of this year's summit, and how would you rate it?
Well, Las Vegas has been spectacular as a destination to come for a summit like this. We've had 1,000 delegates. We've had 65 people from China, another 50 from Japan, and it really is a global summit. And it's been a mix of government ministers from 15 different countries and private sector chief executives and chairmen, and of course the press who come to watch.
So do you have a favorite moment?
I think I have a couple of favourite moments. The first one was when President Calderon of Mexico came to talk with us this morning. And he talked with us about what he'd done with travel and tourism in Mexico in a very focused way. And he was very entertaining about some of the things he'd had to put in place. But he flew all the way to Mexico, from Mexico, to come and see us here in Las Vegas just for the day, and he's going back again this evening. And when you look at what President Calderon does with his tourism minister, it's a country that really gets tourism and understands it, and he really drives it forward. So that was one. And I guess the other highlight was the Japanese at the end of the conference. We had a handover ceremony. We are going to go to Tokyo next year for our summit, and it's going to be in April, 17th and 19th of April. And for the Japanese, it's incredibly important that Wttc comes to help them regenerate their travel and tourism industry, which has been obliterated temporarily by the tsunami and earthquake that's there. So when I was in Japan about 5 weeks ago, we were talking about what we could do to help them recover. And part of that was the Japanese coming here to the summit and giving a very clear message to everybody that Japan is safe to visit now. That's what they did.
So what else will WTTC be doing in the next year before Tokyo to help the Japan recovery?
Well, we have a number of things. We've started doing some research, and the first piece of it came out last week, which it looks at the situation currently. And then every 3 months, we're going to look to see what's happening on the recovery curve for the Japanese inbound and outbound tourism. That's the first thing. Second thing, we'll be talking to the Japanese government frequently to suggest to them that they really have to communicate very clearly about the issue of the nuclear reactors and the perception of radiation, because this is not a normal situation. Travel and tourism, when you have something dramatic like a tsunami or a terrorism incident or something like that's going on in Egypt at the moment, it does recover very, very quickly once it settles down. But with Japan, there's a lingering perception in people's minds that there's some sort of radiation problem there, and it's actually not true. And that means the Japanese government have got to communicate that very clearly, that Japan is open for business and safe to visit.
Great. So what else do we have to look forward to on next year's agenda?
Well, we have to work through the agenda with the Japanese. We will go to April, we'll go to Tokyo, we will also go to Sendai, and Sendai is the center of where all these calamities happened. And it's very important for us to actually go there and to see what happened as part of this regeneration exercise. And we'll put an agenda together for another day and a half. We'll talk about infrastructure, we'll talk about digital, we'll talk about all the things that we've covered in the last couple of days here.
Great. So what else do we have to look forward to in the years to come? Any future locations?
Well, we choose our summit locations very carefully, and we need to go to cities which clearly are easy to get in and out of for the various delegations who want to come. And we can choose places 1 year in advance, and then we spend the next year planning in order to deliver the next summit.
How do you choose your speakers? You had Ted Turner here today.
Yes.
So how do you choose such select individuals?
Well, it's a good question. It's a mix of things. Mostly we have our members who are very happy to speak on the areas that they really understand. So whether they're online travel agencies or GDS businesses, hotel groups, airlines. So our members are always very happy to contribute. And then we mix it up with a lot of external speakers who give a different perspective. So they might be futurists, they might be celebrities like Ted Turner, they might be other experts from the government side. But we end up with a mix, and it's a combination of some keynote speeches. We had Steve Ridgway from Virgin Atlantic this time. We had Michael Frenzel, who's the chairman of TUI, mixed up with discussion sessions in the round. And the great thing about the way we operate the summit is it's an environment where everybody can engage and talk with each other and debate the issues of the day, which helps us create the future policies.
So, David, do you think the U.S. takes travel and tourism seriously?
Well, it's an interesting question, that. We've had Valerie Jarrett here from the administration and Ray LaHood, and we also had Secretary Napolitano here this morning. And I think they're all working very hard on different aspects of the travel and tourism business. But when we look at how they're configured in the US administration and compare that with a country like Mexico, where the president is very focused on travel and tourism, and he has a tourism minister who's executing his instructions, if you like, there's a big difference between the two. And I'm very surprised, actually, that it's the developed world, so US, UK, France, Germany, Spain, who perhaps take travel and tourism for granted. And it's actually the developing countries like Mexico, South Africa, China, Indonesia that really do understand that it's important, understand it's 9% of GDP and it drives all these jobs and exports. So my focus is going to be with the US administration, with the UK, France, Germany, Spain and others, to make absolutely sure the leaders of those countries really understand the economic worth of the travel and tourism industry.
Great. Well, on behalf of Breaking Travel News, we thank you so much for your time and wish you great success. We look forward to Tokyo next year.
Thank you very much. You'll be getting your invitation.
Thanks. Great. Thank you
Is that good
so
enough?
much. Yeah,
Anything else
perfect.
you want to do?